Something else. Vivienne David will start it. Quarterfinal action. Let's play pickleball. Oh my. Wide open. You don't see that miss ever.
Yeah, Thomas Wilson
just saw it.
Laughing at himself, saying that's not the start I was looking for. Does not miss a lot of forehands.
And miss serve from Catherine. All right, let's just, let's just get into this here, everybody. And how do we feel about Tyson on the right to start this,
Yes,
Kyle?
certainly something I didn't expect. They clearly like the idea of lining up Catherine with Vivienne David, going head-to-head, worked out for them in that first point.
What a day of where we're putting our humans. This is the most dudes on the right I've seen at the PPA all year.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago that we never at high-level pickleball saw the male player on the right side, but becoming more and more common.
See the hands of Thomas Wilson able to fend that off, and he's going to have the advantage because his forehand will be in the middle and McGuffin's won't. Double bounce over there and two rockets off the tape that roll over.
Yeah, I think the logic with McGuffin and Parenteau is they're going to want to have Catherine really running around, playing a lot of inside-out forehands to keep Thomas Wilson honest, having to play more backhandings.
I mean, just absurd. Short hop, backhand lob in the corner pocket, and then an Ernie to win the rally.
Yeah, not a bad counter move if that's a standard little reaction half volley lob.
Do not do that at home, anybody. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's one of the best athletes by far on tour is Thomas Wilson. Just thrilled to have just adopted a youngster, part of Girl Dad. I told him he's got a ways to go. I got girls in my 20s, but just thrilled for him and Brittany.
Didn't mind the play once in a while, and I think that is why they're putting Catherine in front of Vivienne David so she can implement some attacks on occasion.
And that is a beautiful under control roll down the middle.
And the middle may be a little bit more open with Parenteau playing the left, wanting to run around and play more forehands.
I mean, today is the Queen's Gambit. I mean, this is unbelievable with everything before the ball's in the air.
They're keeping us on our toes here in the booth,
I like it.
Dave.
I like it. And Thomas is laughing at his forehand again because that's usually the place where he wants the ball.
Yeah, he's not used to missing forehands. That is his bread and butter. Very dangerous on that side.
And no center fielder again, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, with McGuffin not using a two-handed backhand, it's going to limit some of his aggression playing that right side for sure.
Ooh, just wide. Great read by Thomas Wilson, and he's got the hops. He can get off the ground, but didn't get the paddle up on top.
Yeah, he's committed once he goes airborne, but McGuffin probably just barely escaped on that lob by about an inch. What a pickup. So a tightly contested one here early. Ball back to Wilson and David.
And Viv just said, I'm taking over. And this is the second time we've seen this. We saw this in a quarterfinal also in Las Vegas, where McGuffin and Parenteau won game 1, 13-11, and then got run over 11-5, 11-2. So maybe they watched games 2 and 3 of that and said, hey, we got to change something.
Yeah, you never know what history is kind of coming into these matches where the mind games start a little early.
Boy, and some freebie misses off the Wilson forehand just on thirds. Unlikely to continue. McGuffin able to do enough with the backhand there.
Yeah, it was really set up by a nice aggressive dink out wide from Catherine Parenteau. See how that was pushing Thomas Wilson back, a little off balance, more likely for a pop-up.
Miss volley and unwinding the stack there. So 5-3 for McGuffin on the right here this afternoon.
Look for McGuffin to keep using those drives, especially when his opponents are unwinding the stack.
Another one of those where you just don't want to reach your paddle. You think you're helping and you're hurting your cause. Team Skechers here. Oh, I think we got a fault call on Vivienne David there. She is so sneaky on those ernies. Just appears out of nowhere, waits till her opponent's head goes down. She's talking to Thomas about, I think I was good. Get another look at this.
I think she's considering challenging.
This might be a challenge here.
Yeah, certainly a great read by her, like you said, Dave. It's almost impossible to know where your feet are in real time.
And I don't mind a challenge here as a timeout even. So why not?
Yeah, down 6-3, even if you lose it, it's just a kind of a momentum killer.
TV.com, a lot of new folks out. Let's see what Tom Tadler's got for us.
Referee correction, that's a replay. We'll replay at 5-3-2, no timeouts lost.
So we do indeed get the replay, and that was best case scenario for Wilson and David, and just settle everything down. It does remove a point, of course, from the Parenteau and McGuffin scoreboard. Boy, and just deep on the return after all of that. You know, we say ball don't lie, but that wasn't one of those cases because we already looked at it and it was right. And just a disaster here after the video review. Now it skips off the tape. And it's hard to get Vivienne David frustrated, but this is about as close as you get.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, and you see McGuffin and Parenteau playing very up-tempo, trying to build on this momentum and just keep things rolling.
That was going to land about a foot wide there, but David couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like McGuffin kind of got away with this attack. Very unconventional poke, slow cross court, but Vivienne David just fooled enough.
9-3, what a run for the 4 seed. SWAT team.
Yeah, Thomas Wilson trying to chicken wing McGuffin there, but he had his grip rotated over and was not fooled.
We are at game point in rapid fire succession. And that'll do it, my goodness. So, Catherine Parenteau.
Do this year, playing against top-level competition who most do not have full-time jobs, able to spend 4 or 5 hours a day training.
There's Thomas Wilson coming out firing. Yeah, the full-time job for most of the crew now is pickleball, which is fantastic.
Not a dink Vivienne David will miss very often. It certainly seems like Wilson and David are coming out with a game plan of being a little bit more aggressive here early. Too high on the drive attempt from McGuffin. It's a little surprising, Dave, with all four of these players having really all-around games, that they're both kind of coming out here and just committing to the shake and bake at the moment.
Yeah, let's drive the ball. It's November. That is a beautiful finish by Thomas Wilson after some very balletic defense from Catherine, who just makes everything look so smooth and easy.
No, they're great defenders over there, McGuffin and Parenteau, but great point construction by Thomas Wilson.
That's the spot. Vivienne is so heavy to the backhand, but you got to keep it in.
Yeah, got away with one there.
Same idea. So Catherine is cheating, and Vivienne's able to jam her up. She has not done well straight ahead in this match. That could get her going. And we've got a 180 in progress here.
And to me, the story of this match is between Thomas Wilson and Catherine Parenteau, who can get the other one to play a backhand dink? Because if you can be the one running around and playing forehands, you're going to be dictating the action. Unbelievable.
Thomas says, I got you, Viv. Unbelievable rally right there. And this is what we expect.
Start to slow things down a little bit. Early offense worked for them to a point, but Wilson and David have adjusted, are more ready for that tempo, and I think they can work the point a little bit longer.
Ooh, and there's that forehand drive of Thomas Wilson that has just not been as sharp as it usually is. And we got McGuffin over to the left now. Interesting. Oh, pretty. Placement over power, and look at Thomas is like, yeah, I got the flick.
I've got that one in my arsenal,
That is not a shot he hits very often, and that is perfect.
Almost surprised by it. He was getting ready to back up, and he's like, okay, I can just attack this.
Too good from McGuffin, so now he's going to have to carry the mail on the left side here.
Yeah, it's a nice adjustment, a little formation change to have in your back pocket to go to more of a traditional formation.
Same idea still to look for that Thomas Wilson backhand dink. He will run around it. He will avoid it at all costs.
And McGuffin doing some work these last couple of points. Says, put me on the strong side and let me eat. I will will us back into the second game.
So it's interesting because there must have been something they didn't like coming into this that has not shown up yet. And there's just the pressure of the movement of McGuffin, making Wilson try and hit it a little too fine. So great response with the side switch.
4-6-1-1.
And just absolute blister.
Yeah, one of the most lively arms that we see on tour. Plenty of finishing power in the possession of Thomas Wilson.
Good leave there. So the dam started to give a little bit there with McGuffin on the left, but they keep the lead.
6-1-1.
Viv a little frustrated there because she's been tagged twice off the tape here in this match.
Yeah, it looks like she was trying to get out of the way of that one. Pretty tough when the ball changes its flight path.
McGuffin trying to jump in there, and that was a little too greedy.
Yeah, probably needed to trust the defense there of his partner.
Because then she backs off thinking you're coming all the way in to get that one. And McGuffin's like, get that Tui the heck on out of here.
Yeah, definitely read the attack, knows his responsibility is to pinch middle in those situations. Nice discipline from him.
Oh, Vivienne David had the opening, just not enough spin. Within two. What a finish there. And again, Vivienne David's like, just hit it as hard as you want at me. I don't care.
No, and McGuffin hit a pretty good location on the attack, but Vivienne David squatting down, keeping her elbow tucked in, keeping that contact point nice and out in front.
Rock you like a hurricane with the Scorpions. Impressive. Oh, and there's McGuffin running around again. So they have found an answer. They won convincingly with McGuffin on the right, got in a big hole in game two, and now have moved to within one. Again, this is quarterfinal.
McGuffin going for the drive drop combo. Good play there. Normally he's going to convert.
And that stays in from McGuffin. You want to talk about putting the right amount of spin on a shot and hitting just the right amount of the outside of the ball. Well done there from that dude. Just remarkable hands from Catherine Parenteau there.
Yeah, that was huge for her. Thomas Wilson had a lot of options. Great job by her to be able to fend off.
Back to live play here. Oh no, and this is lights out in the facility here. Wow, I have never seen that in my life. Midpoint, the lights, okay, they're back. So I guess whoever hit it last gets to decide if their shot was in, and it's their point. It's, you know, everyone's
honor system out here.
I mean, everyone, we always say, you know, the wind and the sun, and here we go. You don't get this every day, but this is when the lights went out, not in Georgia, but in Florida. Viv just hit the net too hard there.
Better have your hands ready in those exchanges.
What chaos, and a tip of the cap by Thomas Wilson there. So, again, another do-over here in this match. That was wild. I thought we might be in trouble. Those came right back on, so good news. Oh, that's a good volley on the run.
Yeah, McGuffin committed to the drive and crash, but David able to get on top of it, putting him in a tough position on his next ball.
Just an outrageous rally that goes the way of Wilson and David. McGuffin had two ridiculous resets in the middle of that point, and then an unexpected way for that one to end.
Yeah, frustrating unforced error for McGuffin to finish it, but great point construction by all four players.
Oh, and that forehand again for Thomas Wilson just sat on the tape, stayed on his side. Big chance to add to the lead here on two. Oh, and Viv tags McGuffin sitting on the backhand.
Talked about how good she is on that right side. That was not a huge pop-up from Parenteau, but knows how to change her paddle angle to keep McGuffin guessing as to where that attack's going to go.
And what a little bit of sorcery from Thomas Wilson with the spin, and they've got a game point. Thomas Wilson now gets tagged. Good response there from Parenteau and McGuffin.
Yeah, McGuffin all over this backhand counter. Takes a couple to get it through, and they will get the ball back.
So one game point saved. I mean, the squeaking of the tires out there is unbelievable, how everyone's trying to get in the proper position.
Yeah, it's great defense there from McGuffin and Parenteau, but Thomas Wilson and Vivienne David stayed in control throughout the entirety of that point.
After a great block from David, McGuffin goes for it, doesn't find the court, so second try to force a game three.
10 seconds, one.
Not on that particular opportunity.
Yeah, McGuffin has such a good little sweeping forehand where he can pull it for that extreme angle cross court. Pretty tough for Vivienne David to be able to get that one.
Oh, and the runaround forehand dink with Parenteau staying on the left. They didn't want to unwind the stack there at game point down, so they've saved three.
See what formation that they decide to go with. Down a few here late in game 2.
Back to McGuffin on the left. Just the best in the business at Ernie's, not in the way you would think, but his ability to recognize and finish a rally down the line, never pulls it wide.
Yeah, very acrobatic, like you mentioned, one of the best all-around athletes that we have on tour.
Same shot. He wished he would have hit a little more than he did, but got the mistake. So, try number 4 for the 5 seed against the 4.
10-7-1.
Little skitter off the tape, stays in. That actually helped this shot. It might have been wide.
Brave choice there from Parenteau, down game point, but she gets it through.
Boy, and a high drive from Wilson gets just absolutely squashed. So 5 chances have gone away to end game number 2.
7-10-1.
And this team's so good with the fundamentals, but nothing fun about that dimensional right there. Missed the drop. Oh, inside out from Parenteau. That was just plain beautiful.
And she has been lights out with these forehand blocks the whole match mid-court. Really hasn't given much away. And that's, for a lot of players, that's kind of an awkward shot.
Oh, and Thomas Wilson goes for a little too much, and now the scoreboard has reared its ugly head. 9-10-2, and Wilson and David are going to call timeout.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge point. Does his best work thinking on his toes a little bit over here.
Oh, dear. They threatened that. Okay, so here we go. Oh, and just got enough of it. So they get the ball back out of the timeout. Game point number 6. Oh my, and it is going to end with a foot fault. I bet you will get a challenge of this.
It was a little bit late on the call there, a little bit of a delay.
So there's no question.
It's really going to come down to execution. There's not really an obvious gain in these teams one way or the other. I think McGuffin and Parenteau have the ability to play with a little bit more variety. But again, Thomas Wilson and Vivienne David, so much natural chemistry. And the last time they met, McGuffin and Parenteau, like you mentioned, won game 1, lost the next 2. They're hoping that's not a repeat of the last meeting.
And this has been a very clean match, very few of those. So they'll take anything they can get. Quick 2-0 start for David and Wilson. And a weird non-bounce there, but what spin from Parenteau.
Yeah, knew that Vivienne David would be leaning to cover middle on that pop-up, and a great choice with an aggressive dink out wide for the winner.
0-2-1.
Just absolutely gorgeous from Vivienne David. Two-handed backhand off the bounce through the middle.
Yeah, and Vivienne David and Thomas Wilson seeming very comfortable constructing points at the moment. If I were McGuffin and Parenteau, I'd consider going back to that side switch that won them the first game.
Yeah, bailout lob there, and I know Vivienne David is coming over to apologize on the other side of the court to Thomas Wilson after that. Not the right shot selection here, so lead is but one.
And that is the advantage of keeping them in the traditional sides, as McGuffin can move more freely with his forehand in the middle in that poaching role.
Yeah, Catherine's got a bunch of forehands available. She didn't play singles yesterday, so she's got some drives left in the arsenal. Boy, a awkward Ernie that worked out there for McGuffin.
Yeah, pretty brave move considering he was called for a fault to end game one, but hasn't let that phase him, knows that he's got to stay aggressive if he wants his team to get through this one.
Again, off the bounce through the middle.
It seems like regardless of which side McGuffin and Parenteau play, they've been vulnerable with that middle attack.
Yeah, if you put a little topspin in the middle cross court to Wilson, you eat it, and he's made him pay.
Nice low drive there from Vivienne David. Certainly a makeable volley from Parenteau, but it gets much more difficult when you're dealing with that drive being low to the net.
And Wilson is lurking. So back to McGuffin on the right. So just it's non-stop switcheroo there. I think he's going to go back to the left here. Oh my. See if they pay the price. They do not. Viv, for some reason, jumped in front of the best fastball we've got in pickleball.
Somehow she was able to get back to the other one. Wasn't their cleanest looking point, but they got it done.
4-3. Thomas is smiling. I think everyone was surprised that Viv sped that up, and McGuffin able to just fend this thing off.
It was a really awkward location. You almost never need to play a forehand volley when it's coming from that direction. Somehow he kept his elbow in and was able to catch that just out in front enough.
Wow, okay.
Earned him the thumbs up from Vivienne David afterwards.
What a get. Look out. Yeah, and he's able to just hit enough pace where if you want to take a big swing at it, you just can't find it.
Such a weapon to have when you have one player on the court that can hit it big enough to end points and get through the defense.
Especially this defense. So he dared to bring the two-handed backhand off the bounce through the middle again. It got absolutely clobbered by McGuffin earlier.
Yeah, got a little bit fortunate. McGuffin hit a pretty good counter, but pinching middle like that, he was exposed back behind him, and Wilson took advantage.
So they get nothing on that service opportunity. And there's a forehand through the middle that Parenteau just stabbed at the last second. And Viv David just always sitting there with that compact two-handed backhand. Big opportunity to get to 6 and switch with a 3-point lead. And that unicorn of Viv David on the left did not go well.
Big counter here by McGuffin. Really got on top of that nicely.
Second try to get to 6 and get to the other end of the court. And the athleticism of Thomas Wilson, he's smart enough to know I cannot hit this one hard, I'll follow through and hit the net. So he just bunts it through the middle. 6-3. Partner Staxrud earlier, and she locked down that 8 spot. So those are the 16 players that will play for the PPA Finals title in San Clemente.
They do have McGuffin on the right here to start.
And Catherine looked very good at the beginning of this match against Viv David, heads up. So that's going to be the key if she can get that back. Rewind the tape.
3-6-1.
Well, and one of the reasons I like the strategy is we mentioned Vivienne David being such a right side specialist. And in that specialist role, you do a lot of dinking cross court. You do much less dinking up the line. So it might just make her uncomfortable enough to potentially give her team the edge.
And that's something that can't happen and usually doesn't happen. And the other thing we wondered was, could McGuffin find offense on the backhand because he doesn't have the big two-y like an Ignatowicz or Riley Newman. He certainly did in game number 1. So this is going to be quite a fascinating puzzle down the stretch. Oh, and Catherine thought McGuffin was taking that.
Yeah, and that's the risk of doing too much formation changes, right? When you change things up too often, you can kind of take yourselves out of rhythm a little bit as well.
That skids off the tape and goes deep, and they are ahead, and Wilson's forehand has been average at best today as far as thirds, so that's a scary thought. What if he catches fire right now? Good deep return. So that was massive after the first miss from Parenteau on a miscommunication. They got to go now, down 4. Boy, another missed third.
Yeah, just a few loose errors over the last minute or so from Parenteau. See if she can find her game down the stretch.
And again, Viv David just sits there. It's compact. She dares you to hit cross-court attacks. Look at her, just sitting there. It's loaded. Forget about it. Really important for David and Wilson against a quality opponent just to get one at a time here.
Yeah, just build on that lead any way you can. It's been very tough for both teams to score points, so a 4-point lead is looking pretty darn good right now. Just want to get at least one each time you get that ball back.
Second try to get that lead up to 5. Great serve from David. And not sure why Thomas Wilson was feeling that one there. He just telegraphed the two-way right away.
Well, and we mentioned that was one of the potential pros of putting McGuffin on the right side, maybe to be able to handle those middle speed-ups a little bit better.
So no harm done. Oh my, after all that defense, after a Thomas Wilson lob over there, he gets the double bounce off the tape and it doesn't hit the black bar for a third do-over in this match. And what a shot from Viv David.
From that low position, being brave enough to hold that just long enough to get it in that high, awkward location, got behind McGuffin.
Again,
it's a good look for Wilson, though. Definitely created space with his feet, looking for that middle attack one more time.
Just not 100% sharp on that wing. And that caught a piece of Parenteau there. So in the beginning of this match, every one of those exchanges was going Catherine's way. I think that just got the visor on.
8-3-2.
Either way, looks like she's okay. Trying to get out of the way of it, but this is a fast sport, folks.
Oh my, she had it. She's made that shot in this match. She's missed that shot. Now she's 1 for 3, but it was wide open.
Yeah, again, space up the middle. She saw it, couldn't quite convert.
And McGuffin, he knows how to play to the crowd and get that third man. Seattle Seahawks, apologies to the 12th man. Oh my, just McGuffin sold out in the middle. She had 4 feet there.
Yeah, it's kind of a similar kind of shot as before. She just had a much bigger target.
Timeout receivers, 3-8-2.
Interesting.
Her game, and she's played the level that she's capable of in this one.
So here we go. And the inside out from Catherine Parenteau continues to be effective. And Vivienne David on the other side of the court pointed to herself, left that dink up a little bit, and partner paid for it. Okay, so odd timeout from Wilson and David have now fueled the other side. So here we go.
5-8-2.
Errors creeping in, tension creeping in, crowd on the side of the Skechers duo, 6-8. Oh my goodness. And 3 miles an hour gets past both paddles.
McGuffin and Parenteau, 2 of the best athletes on tour, and they did not look like their most athletic selves on that occasion. Very weird point, but Wilson and David will most certainly take it at this stage in the match.
Okay, so tightening up a bit on the Wilson and David. They got to get to the kitchen here, because they got away with murder on the point before that with the off-speed pitch. Oh, and 2/3 don't get over.
And Dave, that odd timeout appears to really be hurting them. They haven't come out with the same energy. We'll see if they can find their game.
It's Vivienne David who says, Thomas, we're fine. I got a forehand attack down the line off the bounce. Wow. And nothing doing for the 4 seed. That is an impressive hold there. Can they get off 8? They've been stuck.
Yeah, it's a great bounce back from them after not a great possession on their end. A very quick side out.
And I think Thomas broke the ball, or at least hit it somewhere where we can't find it. And boy, I am so much if I'm ahead. I would go out. I'll dig through the shrubberies. We'll get a search party. I want that same one in play here. So new, not necessarily new, but different ball in play here. 8-6 in the third. Oh my, is this going to stay in? It is. And a dreaded HTP doesn't get the ATP, and Thomas Wilson had a sitter overhead earlier in the rally that McGuffin was able to just claw back away in the air. Unbelievable.
Clutch defense from Parenteau and McGuffin to get that point back to neutral and take it.
And they are stuck at 8 again.
We've had 3 straight possessions where neither team has been able to score.
And it is Wilson through the middle on the forehand. It was once 8-3. It is now 6-8-2.
6-8-2.
Wow. Okay, so the chance to pull within one was there twice, and they did not get it done.
The stalemate continues here late in the deciding game 3.
Thomas Wilson's lateral quickness saves the day right there.
Yeah, was able to get his team out of jail. Great speed, great anticipation. It's huge for them to get off of 8.
Could not get to the kitchen there. So second chance to get to 10, and then all the pressure that comes with that.
6-2.
And Wilson cannot find the 7th. He hit a third shot drop, but didn't get anywhere off of it. So they get 1. Is there a response from Catherine and Tyson? And Viv David is a terrific player on the ATP. Hit the post on one earlier. This time she waits and just fires it over there. And
6-9-2.
such great awareness from Thomas Wilson to be in position.
Yeah, because McGuffin got that back, but Wilson knew right where it was coming.
And again, the forehand off the bounce. So at the kitchen, his forehand has been great. Just can't find it at the baseline. This is stunning, but it's working. 2 points away from a semifinal berth with Waters and Johns. And we are at match point.
10-6-1.
Forehand drive just a mile too high there from Wilson.
Yeah, like you mentioned, just has been out of rhythm on that shot throughout the match, but has had it at the kitchen line, so they're still in a good position here.
Second chance. And that one's not coming back, so we will play on.
We knew this would be a good one, and it definitely is. Do Parenteau and McGuffin have one last push?
6-10-1.
Great read, bad execution.
Yeah, just haven't been able to score in a while. They've had a lot of good looks.
And there it is again. Thomas Wilson off the bounce on the forehand at the kitchen. Threads yet another needle. Look at this beauty.
Yeah, recognizes that Parenteau's backing up. McGuffin protecting against the dink.
Third match point. Oh, and miss it by Wilson, who chose to throw a lob up to try and give them time to reset. Nervy moments here. Fourth try to get out the door here for Wilson and David. And the forehand betrays Thomas Wilson again.
I think he's hit the tape on about 4 or 5 forehand drives this match day.
And they went McGuffin on the right, and they got Wilson to hit a backhand.
Yeah, and again, it's going to help them cover the middle attack a little bit better, and they've been beat with that a lot down the stretch in this third game.
7-10-1.
Get.
Just stop it. What a point at crunch time. Thomas Wilson looks up in the air, but it is Vivienne David who gets them out of jail 7 times and then hits the winner. What a performance from Viv.
What does it take to get through the wall of Wilson and David right now? Parenteau and McGuffin still have the serve, though. Can still score some points.
What a battle of wills here in Holly Hill.
7-10-2.
Huge forehand from McGuffin, does not go over. 5th try to finish this. And Viv David on the other side smiling away. McGuffin focused. And that will do it. Thomas Wilson, Vivienne David,